You were seen.
Yes, you were seen. Okay, cool. So, hey everybody, welcome, and we're gonna go ahead and start chatting. And thank you guys so much for being here. It means so much to us.
Of course. We're happy to be here today.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. And everybody obviously already knows you, so there's no introductions needed. But these two are very, very special to me. They came to our house and Katch photographed my family, and they're like my prized possessions. So this is very special. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we'll start off. We're gonna dig deep, I guess, and we'll have you guys talk about how you met in your creative journey, and then we'll go from there.
Cool.
Okay.
So Katch and I met when I was speaking at Photo Field Trip.
He was my teacher.
Yeah. And she had actually emailed me, was it like a week or so before, asking me out to lunch before.
Not like asking them, like
yeah, just like
photography-wise.
Yeah, photography-wise.
Whatever.
And
Right.
I said no. And then I get probably 10 emails like that a week, and I just honestly don't have the time. I wish I did, but so I turned her down and told her to come get lunch with me at Field Trip. And she did, and we just totally hit it off, and then we're best friends for a year, and then started dating.
Amazing.
I love that so much. That's so cool, and I think that's really unique too. And why we wanted to talk about that is it's kind of rare to have two big time creative lives squished together. So what has that been like for you guys? Two creatives living a life together.
It's been, or you want to?
Yeah.
It's been super interesting for us because we've been able to change our styles a lot because of the other one in ways that I haven't expected, and I imagine maybe Katch hasn't either.
I feel like our styles when we first met were complete opposite almost, and slowly we've kind of been doing this a little bit, and Ben's style has gotten a little bit darker, a little bit more intimate, and I guess moody, but I don't like that word. And then mine's kind of started to go into because of Ben, I started shooting my first model sessions and test sessions and all that. So mine's gotten a little more editorial, and I've gotten a little more artistic with that stuff. So we kind of feed into each other's work a lot.
Yeah,
even though our styles are still pretty different.
Yeah, that is.
Do you guys shoot together sometimes as well, or?
Sometimes. We used to a lot more. And now, so Ben stopped shooting.
Yeah, so I stopped shooting weddings. I don't have any booked weddings or really any paid work booked because I'm just too introverted. I've been doing it for about 9 or 10 years, and I just kind of continue being around 200 people every single weekend.
Oh, I totally get that. I feel the same way. Every time I'm just drained afterwards,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so about probably 2 years ago, I really fizzled out on weddings, didn't have much booked. I just started turning stuff down or passing it along to Katch. And because of that, I was open, which meant I second shot for Katch a ton, but then we realized that I was just still around 200 people every weekend. Except not getting paid. So now, today, Katch is trying to find second shooters for the fall, but if she can't find any, then I'll be second shooting every now and then with her. But it's pretty rare.
And then as part of your personal work, we do shoot a lot together. Since we travel together, we'll stop at places and I'll shoot self-portraits, or Ben will shoot me. We shoot each other.
She doesn't shoot me. I'm not good looking enough.
We shoot. Yes, I do. That's not true. So that's really cool to get to be on both sides of the camera together, I guess. Ben's been shooting me a lot more lately. And I've been shooting us as a couple with self-portraits a lot. And that's really cool to learn by being on the other side of the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's super weird.
Katch, first of all, you're the most adorable little person ever. I want to put you in my pocket. You're so cute.
It's true.
Sorry, random creepy invisible person.
That wants to put you in her pocket. Oh no, she is so adorable. No, the underwater work that you've done, I'm My mind is blown. That was the coolest. And I hope that was really well received because that deserves to be in a museum.
Thanks.
Unbelievable. But I'm a fangirl, so it's, fangirl, yeah. We did have a couple of questions from students in relation to like creative work. And it appears like, obviously you guys are living on the road. And how long has it been that you've been on the road now?
We moved into the van in December last year, so 7 months, I guess, 6 months, no, 8 months, wow, 8 months.
It's been that long? Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. And the plan is to do it for a year, right?
The original plan was 1 year, but
At least
a year, but we're really loving it, so we're gonna do probably at least another year. To do 2 years total, and then hopefully after that go part-time on the road.
Yeah.
So maybe like a few months in the van, then a few months established somewhere back on the road.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
Amazing.
That's
What do
the
you?
plan. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah. Well, what do you think that living on the road has done for you creatively?
For me, since I shoot couples and weddings, it's really allowed me to be able to shoot in locations that I wouldn't normally access.
Right.
For example, this year we took a trip to the Badlands in South Dakota, which I would have never gone to
Right.
otherwise, because we were in Colorado and it was like a 5-hour drive, so we just did it. And then I found a couple to shoot out there, and so it was just really cool to be able to just go like middle of nowhere, actually sleep there, wake up there, and then shoot there. And not have to go through this whole ordeal of like planning it months in advance and getting a person out to the Badlands and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of happens a lot like that. We'll be traveling and I'll get inquiries from where we are, and it's really nice to be able to shoot in like really remote, awesome places where other people might not have access to, that we find because of the van. So it's really cool.
Yeah, kind of the same for me. It's been like pretty interesting to be able to find so many new landscapes. And like we have a model in the van with us, so I catch all the time in all these places. Like when we were driving down the Oregon coast, I shot Katch a bunch, and I have like a ton of new work because of that.
Yeah.
And locations that I've never shot before, and never knew I wanted to shoot before. So that's been super nice, and then it also just gives us both a lot of downtime when we're just like out in the wilderness somewhere. So I get to like read about existentialism or play guitar more or like doodle, just like find other little creative
downtime where we're not like in front of Wi-Fi working, which is it's like forced downtime, which is great because otherwise we wouldn't take off time.
Like I'll build little like mini cabins out of sticks.
No, that's awesome. That's so true when you're at home, obviously the van is your home, but when you're at home, there's always something to do. So like the simple life is really hard to achieve when you're like in a suburbia situation, and I know that like a lot of our students are moms, mom photographers. That's obviously what Sarah and I are, and what a lot of them connect to us on a deeper level. And I know so many moms that are like, I want to do that. Like, I want to just sell everything and go on the road. And myself included, I take my kids as much as I can. But it's a process. And, like, we're getting better at it. But a little, like, for you guys, and I don't want to, like, ask you, like, everyone wants to know when you're having kids. But, no, if you guys were to ever have a family, do you think it would be achievable to still, like, do this half on the road, half home type situation?
I do. So I don't know any. I guess there's a few photographers who live on the road as well that I know, but there's this couple. They're not photographers, but they make jewelry and they lived on the road for a year. They have a dog in their van, and then they recently had a baby as well.
They had to build out a new van.
So they got they built out a new van to make room for like the baby's seat and all that, but. They still do it and they love it and they make it work. It's totally them and they're super happy. And like I said, they're not photographers, but like they're creatives and they still make it work. So I totally think that you can make it work. You just have to be willing to give up certain amenities, I guess, and you have to
like having a clean baby, for example.
Right.
It becomes a bit of an ordeal.
It's probably a little more difficult, but it's doable. Like, we have to give up some amenities for sure, but we're totally happy doing it because that's what we love.
Yeah.
So I guess if your kids are used to that and they like that, then it would be doable.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for mom because I'm not a mom, but I feel like it would be.
Yeah. true. And like I think the simplicity is the best part. When we just recently went to Oregon, we just took a tent and that was it. And at home we have like a pop-up camper, we have all of these things. And like I loved the basic, like almost nothing that we needed and just nature. And that was really new for me to be like, it's actually easier with less.
Yeah, it totally is. And it feels so freeing.
Yeah.
What was the thing your mom always said?
My mom used to say that people become janitors of their things.
Yes.
So the more things you have, the more shit you have to keep up with and maintain and all that. Like, it's more complicated.
Absolutely. More money, more problems, right?
Yeah.
Well, if any of you guys have questions, feel free to type them down below. I do have some from students from the actual school. Laura Gentry posted a question. Let me pull it up here. What were your fears when you decided to completely change your lifestyle?
I think for me, not necessarily a fear. I don't know if either of us necessarily had fears about it. But one thing I was expecting is more of an adjustment to living on the road. I thought it was just going to be a longer process of like figuring things out and starting to get comfortable with it and all of that. But it was like a very easy transition. Like the transition was just, we have a place and now our place is a van, and that was it.
Yeah. And that was a few things. We donated a lot of stuff. We sold some stuff.
Yeah.
But I think just because we've always been so minimal and so, I don't know what the word is, like
flexible.
I guess flexible. Yeah, like we love camping, and I've never really been like, I don't know, a girly girl. I don't want to call it that, but you know what I mean. Like I've never needed a lot of clothes, a lot of dresses, a lot of like heels, like jewelry. I've just always been sort of minimal. So it really wasn't that big an adjustment. And I see the question also says, what was your green light? I think just the fact that we both wanted to for like years, even before we met, we wanted to live on the road at some point in our lives. I just remember one day we were just like, let's just do it now. Like, why aren't we doing it now? And immediately Ben started researching everything. And like a month later, we were at Sportsmobile looking at their vans. So just kind of knowing that like now's the time, and that's like all the green light we needed, I guess.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What kind of van do you have?
It's the Sprinter, a Mercedes Sprinter, and it's basically the smallest version of them. It's that one on the screen. They have like longer ones and high tops and all that, but we just have the smallest one for the sake of parking easily and all of that.
So do you like sleep up at the top there? Is that like where the bed is?
There's two beds.
Yeah, there's in the back of the van.
We have an upstairs.
So if you guys want to see way more van pictures, go to Sheep on Instagram.
I'll write that in here.
Katch runs that, and there's tons of pictures of the inside of the van. But we also have two bench seats that fold into a bed in the back, which is where we usually sleep. And we thought we would sleep up top more during summer when we would need like a nice cross breeze, but we really haven't used it too much. And I think that's the one thing we would do differently, is we would get the high version of the van and not do a pop top. That way we could just stand up all the time in there.
I can stand up all the time.
There's like a section that's like this long that I can stand up fully in, and then otherwise I'm like this.
I have like dance parties in it. I can like
That's awesome. No, I love that. I love talking about minimalism and like happiness in relation to minimalism. And in our workshop that Sarah and I teach together, we have a whole first portion on just minimizing your life and your creative space and like where you actually work. And like for Sarah has 4 kids. So like when we have a meeting, I just watch her circus for like an hour and a half, and she just manages it so well. But what helped her so much is like really minimizing like the clutter and the things that weren't needed, and she's so good at that. But that for us has improved like happiness overall. Yeah. And I love what your mom said. I'm gonna have to write that down because that's so true.
My mom is very smart.
She seems like it. Well, she raised a very smart boy too, and I like that. It's like and this was actually another question that somebody had talking about like mindfulness in your creative life, and typically like when you're talking about the creative person, it seems very like scattered and unfocused, and procrastination is a big part. But I think you guys have really nailed down, at least like from what I know of you, like this true mindfulness in your creative journey. Like you know what you want, and you just do that.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So I've been doing this for about like 10 years now. And just in the past like 2 or 3 years is when I finally started to really say no to the things that I don't enjoy and only say yes to the things that I actually want to be doing. And it's been like a crazy difference in how happy I am and how creatively fulfilled I am. And it took me like 8 years to finally get there.
Right.
But yeah, it's been like super helpful to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how much you're, especially like we're all as business owners and artists. At least I am like 100% devoted to like both the art and my business, but also 100% devoted to like having a good lifestyle and our relationship. And it's insane how much like how busy you are affects your relationships, and I assume your relationships with husbands and kids and friends and all that. Even though I only have one person to worry about, it still affects it a lot. So yeah, just being mindful of like how much you're putting yourself through. Like more work doesn't necessarily mean happiness at all, and like that took us a while to realize and to learn. And like now, I'm like I have a booked fall, and I get inquiries sometimes, and I'm like, Ben, should I take this? Like this sounds so great, and he's like, no, you shouldn't. Remember what we talked about? But yeah, I just have to at one point say like, no, like my happiness and our lifestyle is more important than making an extra however much money this fall.
And also, me telling Katch not to take it makes it sound like
He's not.
Katch told me to tell her.
Yeah, we like talked about it, and I was like, remind me next time.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's so funny. No, and that's
Just that math. Katch is 100% devoted to art, business, and happiness. So that's 300% devoted.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. No, I think that's so true. And like for people like just starting out, that can be really hard too, because you kind of have to say yes to so many things that when you're learning and growing, that's just kind of part of it. And we do have students who are, at the very beginning of their journey. And I remember when, I was at the beginning of mine, and I would just say yes to anything. I would do like a birthday party, and then I said yes to a wedding, and I hated every second of it, but I felt like I had to because it came my way. But you do learn, and like obviously you guys have learned so well just what you want to do, like exactly what you want to do. That's so cool, and it takes time, obviously. Yeah.
At the beginning, for sure, we also took anything from our way because we had to make money and we had to pay the bills. So that's totally understandable. But just kind of slowly like honing in on exactly what it is you want.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So Ben, I have a question for you. I know you said you're not doing weddings anymore and you don't do a lot of paid shoots. So how the hell do you make your money?
So over the past like 5 or 6 years, I've been kind of gearing my brand towards education. So I offer classes. I used to do one-on-one mentorships. I do workshops, speaking, writing articles for magazines, that kind of stuff. But it's been like basically a different career. It's been like 5 years of building that career in order to make it financially stable enough to where I can just do personal work and not have to worry about booking jobs.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's exactly what Co and I are trying to do now. Like we're both kind of ready to be home more and take less shoots because I'm like so not a people person. I would rather just photograph my children.
Right. She's broken.
I swear to goodness, my webcam is not working. My iPad has completely kicked it, and now apparently my laptop has as well. So it's just one incredible week for me over here.
No, but that is true, and that's I think too. Like obviously, like Ben, I've taken your class. Katch, I've been mentored by you. You guys are both like amazing educators, and not everybody is. So that's so cool that you found that though, and honed in on that dream. And it's like Sarah and I are like beneath both of you as far as educators. Like we're in our infancy of education, but it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done by far.
It's really nice.
It's amazing. And we had our first run of our workshop recently, and just watching their growth within 3 weeks and being like, we had some small hand in that. It was on another level. So she and I talk all the time. We're like, this is the dream. And then we can do personal work with our children. And that's like where our heart lies, and take clients that we want to work with. know.
Mhm.
So but it takes time. So you did that for 5 years and finally honed in, and again, like your classes. And if anybody is interested in taking one of his classes, it's on his website, and it's all online. It's really wonderful, really good information, and I mean it's stellar. So congratulations on your success. Laura had a question. She said, "What are your current inspirations for the art you are creating?"
Oh shit.
Something silly that we saw like blew our minds. First we saw Tree of Life.
Yes.
And that, for me, the way it was filmed was really, and for them too, inspirational. It was shot very wide. Yeah, we'll type it in.
I already had it copied for another reason, but there's a link from one of my shoots that was inspired by Tree.
That was one of my shoots. Basically, just the visuals of it, it was shot very, very wide, very close, so it makes you feel like you're there. And after that, I started shooting a lot more with my 24mm lens and just kind of trying to get more like scenes and more documentary feel of like being there in the moment and not worry about the distortion. And so that's really changed my work. I was telling Ben, I recently updated my gear article, and I used to have percentages of like, I use a 35, about 50% for 50 photos, 50% of photos I delivered, the 50 for like 20, the 85 for like 20, etc. And after buying the 24 I used for like 30%, and now the 35 I use for like 20%. This is making sense what I'm saying. 24 a lot more. It's kind of become my primary lens, and it's kind of from that movie and just the feel of that wide angle of being there. And then another movie we saw, like, I don't know that one, Ghost Story.
That was stupid. That was go see, Katch will type it in, A Ghost Story. Yeah. It's like, it's like a life-changing film. It's like not just like art inspiring, but it just makes you question your entire life. We went saw Ryan Muirhead.
It'll make you cry probably, so just be ready for that.
We went saw like Ryan Muirhead, Chester, and Sarah Byrne, and we all were just crying through the credits the entire time, bawling afterwards, cry a little bit the next day about it. Phil and Sarah said they fell asleep looking out the window and crying. It's a good one.
I haven't seen either of those.
Like, all that's for light. Like, it's just the way it's shot too. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's not even like it's not a tragedy movie. It's not like tragedy that makes you cry. It's not like, well, kind of, but it's not one of those that just has like tragedy for the sake of making you cry. It's like a movie that's about life, and then you realize how small you are and how small everything is, and that everything is everything else. And it's, so that's a good one.
I'm gonna watch that immediately.
But for me, something that I got from like Tree of Life and a couple other movies is actually how I shoot has changed a little bit. I used to like post somebody and kind of like stand there and click, and then like maybe move over here and click, and then move over here and click. But on the past couple shoots, and that one I linked, I tried to shoot more as like a cinematographer who's like moving like this and this like the whole time. So I'll like put my subject in a pose, and I'll literally, I'm just gonna do it for you so I look nice and stupid, but like I'll literally like go like this as I'm clicking and just like changing the whole time. That way I'm getting like totally different angles for every single shot, which introduces me to like angles I haven't seen before, or haven't thought of before, as if I would just have like stayed still shooting.
And it just makes it feel more cinematic. And
I love that shoot. I'm looking at it right now. It's amazing. Did you do like a slower shutter speed for a lot of them? Is that kind of the technique?
So for a lot of my slow shutter stuff, which I've been doing a bit more lately, and there's some in that blog post, I usually shoot it between like 1/13th of a second and 1/60th, just kind of like depending on the light and depending on how much blur I want.
Right.
I see somebody asked, do you think you can share a photo with us taken with each lens?
Okay.
I can actually share the gear article that I just updated. Let me, and it has like examples of every lens I use. I'll paste it in there in a second.
Okay, cool.
Do
you guys shoot Canon? I feel like, is it?
Yeah, I'm going to shoot Canon. Yeah, and my go-to lenses, my go-to lens lately is the 24.
I just bought a 35 and now you're making me regret it.
No, that is also
35 is
favorite.
amazing. It's been my favorite for like 8 years.
Yeah, and I still use it a ton. And
My Sigma is horrendous, so I needed a Canon 35 instead of my Sigma 35, and now I kind of wish I got the 24.
Yeah. I know. I think that's on my purchase list. Yeah. So tell me where to go.
Go down all the way to the bottom of this page. Up a little bit more.
Sorry. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, what's in my bag.
Cool.
So there's the link.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna post this in here. And I remember even when you were doing our pictures, I loved the shots that you did with the 24. And like, so Sarah makes fun of how short I am too. Don't worry, she wants me to be in her pocket as well. But I love because like Katch will even be up like with her camera above her head and snapping away. And like a lot of us are shorties, and it gives you a whole new perspective. And the 24 gives it just that much more space to tell the story. It's really cool. So yeah, go check out her gear.
That article leaves samples of photos taken with each lens I use at weddings.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yes, there's a 24. Stunning. My gosh.
Pretty stupid.
Have either of you shot with the Sigma lenses?
I borrowed Phil Chester's 50 ones because we were in Barcelona and we just decided to shoot them. And it was too sharp for me, which I know is like a weird thing to say, but I really love like softness in my images.
Yeah.
And the Sigma 50 just like brought out every single pore and defined every single hair and stuff, and to a point where I just like had to like lower the clarity on everything, and it just wasn't for me. Great lens for people that want that, but I don't know.
That's so interesting. Go ahead.
I just said I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Everybody's like, what'd you say?
I know, right? Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to wrap this up in 2 minutes. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. There was one more thing. I'm trying to see if I wrote it down. No, I asked that already. Yep, I did. I know I'm dying to see Tree of Life. I'm going to watch both of those now. I'm
You might have to
excited.
space them out.
Yeah, space them out. They're both very heavy.
Too much crying. Oh, Sarah, no, you guys know I'm a crier. I cry at everything. Second I became a mom, I'm like just Subaru commercials, and I'm sobbing my eyeballs out.
I have one more question for you, Ben.
Okay.
And I don't mean to keep asking Ben questions. I have questions for Katch too.
I'm fine just sitting here.
How do you choose your models, or how do you find models that you love?
So, Colleen, while I'm answering this, if you could Google Ben Sasso test shoots. I have an article on my blog all about how I find art models in like all stages. So I used to start on Model Mayhem, which is a creepy Craigslist type website where you can find a bunch of sketchy people and a couple really great models and creatives. And that's kind of how I started finding models. And then I moved on to working with agencies, which I talk about in this article, like how to reach out to agencies. I actually have some tips from an agent that I talk with pretty often in there about like what they look for when people reach out. But nowadays I have relationships with like 3 or 4 different agencies in LA where I'll just be able to email them and say like, hey, I'm going to be in LA. Can you send me like a package, which is like basically choices of people to work with. And they'll just send people, and I'll pick people that fit the look I'm looking for.
That's so
Katch,
cool.
how do you feel about that? Like, do you ever get like, you would choose her, you asshole?
I don't think I've ever done that.
I would choose that if I would feel that if my husband was a photographer photographing beautiful
If you
women.
look through my whatever you guys want on my editorial 2 portfolio, it's slowly getting overtaken by Katch.
I know.
Katch is like
That's like the
50
most beautiful one.
Yes.
I don't blame you one bit on that one.
And it's crazy how, and obviously like we know you, but how like the feeling you get when you're looking at the images that you shoot of Katch versus, I mean, it's like, of course your work's so stunning, but it's different. It's like, it tugs at the heartstrings because that was your intention. because there's love
Yeah.
there. So it's,
Yeah.
see, I told you, I'm a mush ball. No, but it's true. And thank you guys so much for being here. This means so much to us. And
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's fun.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Have a good day.
If anyone that's in here has any other questions, Katch and I are both very open on our Facebook and Instagram, so feel free to ask us other stuff too.
Yes, and follow them on Sheep Feet to see their van life. It's so much fun. All right, you guys have a wonderful day.
Cool, thanks.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.